Good morning to you this morning. It is July the 1st. June goes into the rearview mirror. Today's devotion is entitled A Handful of Quietness. It's a nice title. Ecclesiastes 3:22, there is nothing better for a person than to enjoy their work because that is their lot. I'm not sure how to pronounce this name that's here. In the midst of coalesce gloom regarding the pointlessness of work, a couple of gleams shine through. Yes, work is our inescapable quote unquote lot, and so satisfaction in that realm is essential to a satisfactory life. But how do we get that satisfaction in light of all that we have against us? The answer: to find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. That's Ecclesiastes 3:13. How can we secure this gift? Koheleth provides a hint from Ecclesiastes 4, verses 5 and 6. Fools fold their hands and ruin themselves. Better one handful with tranquility than two handfuls with toil and chasing after the wind. Koheleth commands literally one handful of quietness by contrast with two alternatives. One is the two handfuls of wealth that come from toil and chasing after the wind. That's verse 6. The other is the empty handful of wealth that comes from the idleness of the fool who does not toil at all. Verse 5. Koheleth concedes that satisfaction in work in a fallen world is always a miraculous gift of God. And yet we have a responsibility to pursue this gift through a particular balance. Tranquility without toil will not bring us satisfaction. Neither will toil without tranquility. There will be both toil and tranquility. That's, I think for most people anyway, it's always a good thing. You put in a hard day's work into something you love, into something that when it's finished, you can take a deep breath and, okay, that's great. I'm accomplished it. It's all done. Now I go rest. And that's the way most humans do it. Depending on what kind of work you have, what kind of job you're doing, how many hours it takes to do that job and get you to that finished sense of finished point. But you can end up, if I know for most of us, we have a to-do list and we pick it up, we look at it every day, and there's 10 things on there. Well, I'll get two done today. And you do them, and that's good. But then there's this, well, there's eight more that need to be done yet. When am I going to get those done? That's not quietness. Now there's this sense of, oh, I got so much on my plate to do. Well, how am I going to get it done? Maybe I need some. Maybe I'll ask somebody to come help me. Whatever. We get panicky when we know there's a whole lot of things to do that just keep piling up. And so to get to work, which is where we started out here, there's nothing better for a person than to enjoy their work because that is their lot. That's who we are. That's what we were made to be. That's the giftings and abilities that we've been given. And once we know we have finished them, and we at least in our own minds, we think we've done it well, we can take that relaxing deep breath and let it go out of our minds, at which point the quietness comes. Or maybe better than just sitting down and putting all of that out of our minds, we sit down and instead we replace that work that we've just done. We replace that work with being in God's Word, praying. Those are the kinds of things we can do that will bring peace to us. It's one of the spiritual gifts, the spiritual fruits that we get: love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, kindness. Um, and those things can bring quietness to us. When we don't have a settled quietness for one reason or another, I'm sure it's not good for the blood pressure. That's for sure. I had a hard time going to sleep the other night, just thinking things through. And I could feel could feel the heart putting some extra kicks there. But anyway, I eventually went to sleep and got a good night's sleep. But that's good. I'm thankful. When I have a good night's sleep, one of the first things I do in the morning is thank the Lord for a good night of rest. Um, and It's something I know I need, and I appreciate it very, very much. So work is not just, at the end of your rope kind of stuff. It is a This is something I can do. This is something I like to do. This is something I want to do, and we get it done. And when we're done, we're satisfied. I ran over to Staples today. Well, actually, for you, it's yesterday, on Tuesday. Ran over to Staples and I got a bundle of filing boxes. You got to break them up and fold them up and all that kind of stuff. I'm getting to be professional at that. And the goal was what I've been thinking about. I've been thinking a lot about our neighborhood cookout, the end of August. And last year I did not bring books down to just give away because lots of times they weren't taken. They just mostly stayed there on the table. But it was a lot of work to make them get there. And so last year I didn't do that. I just felt like, why should I do all that work? And the end result is I loaded all back, most all of it back in my car again and take it home and hike it back up the steps and all that. That is not a relaxing work. Trust me, especially when you got knees like mine and my leg muscles are often throbby kind of thing. Um, it's not really the kind of thing you want to do, or you don't think you can do, as the case may be. Just watching. I've been watching um, some history stuff, and it's on PBS, and it's about the American Revolution. Takes you back like from just before and leading on into the things. All that it's. It's done in such a way as you get to know people you never heard of before, which is wow. I think I'll be going down and building an ark somewhere the way it's thundering and raining here. But it is it's interesting. There's a lot of things in it. I love history. I don't know everything there is to know about history, but this is done in such a way as to help you meet the characters. Again, a lot of them wouldn't know their names at all. Some of the important, like George Washington and others, they're well known. And it's just I enjoy sitting watching it, and how everything begins to take shape. We know it struck me as I watched it when we go to a play or a movie or something like that, all the main characters are up front. They're on the stage. They're the stars of the movie, whatever the case may be. And I think that's true for our Declaration of Independence and all of that that went with it afterwards. Um, there are characters who are we know the name, we know who they are, we know what they did. But then there's a whole bunch of people behind. Like in a play, there's people back there who set up the stage, who did the makeup for you if you needed it, and and we can. follow that along and get to know in the course of this that it was regular people who weren't happy at times with the taxes, nothing new under the sun, and um, and the things that were being done to them by British soldiers. Turns out that our revolution wasn't limited to just here. It had an impact in England. It had an impact in many other countries and continents. And again, it shows us, teaches us, tells us this was more than we knew, more than we thought. And it's very interesting to see it unfold and to just take it in. So, but the storm came along here, and all of a sudden I couldn't watch it anymore. I don't know if PBS got hit with a lightning bolt or what, but it's it's in it is a very good way to learn on the fuller picture, who's involved. Native Americans got involved. They had to choose who they were going to whose side they were going to fight on because they were often torn between being on the side of the British or being on the side of the French, and but they some of them signed up to fight with the Patriots. There were slaves who were a little frustrated that they weren't getting in on the freedom and all of that, and so it's kind of a mixture of all kinds of things, but it does illuminate the reality of where we have come from and who we are. And there were people, not really trained soldiers, but patriots nonetheless, who uh, who fought and died. And it was a very difficult time for a lot of people here. And but they also did some stuff that I don't think they were probably pretty proud of afterwards. They would get people, well, though there was a stamp act, and they had different people in towns who sold the stamps, and the people who lived in those towns didn't like those people, and so there would be times when they would take them out, strip them down, put the hot tar on them, and then the feathers. Wow, that doesn't seem like something those I mean, what those people were aiming for, that doesn't seem like it should be part of it. At least not to me. Anyway, so anyway, that is in the. I guess I started a long story and I didn't get to the end of it. I've got that package of boxes, and so while I'm watching the history there of the revolution, I was putting all my boxes together, folding them up, putting them all together. And again, I've gotten professional at it. Hopefully, I'm not going to fill all of them with books and bring them down to give away. But I will try and get as the ones I think I don't really want anymore or won't be reading anymore in there. But when I'm done with that, quietness, because I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about what books am I going to keep, what books am I going to possibly give away, those kinds of things. But I know that when I get them packed up and when I get them down there and they're finally out for display, I'll be good. Actually, I'll be better if most of them go and I don't have to take all of them home again. So, blessings to you today. You do your work and enjoy it. And when you're done, just take joy in it.